Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, Taurus, tonight we have the Six of Discs as our opening energy here. Every reading I pull a card while I'm setting up. And tonight we got the Six of Discs, which is all about success, right? Things really coming together for you. And because this is a coins, pentacles, panicles, discs card, right? This is aligned with Earth, the element. And that means this is probably something in your waking life, right? In the physical world, our day-to-day. So let's go ahead. We're going to spin this thing and then tap on it 3 times. And we're going to see what the tea leaves want to show us. Okay, and let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing over and take a look. And so if you have, oh no, I'm going back to one of my old intros. Well, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that. Well, if you are so moved to do so. But I just want to thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. If you've seen a tea leaf reading before, or if this is your first time, I feel very honored to be able to bring these messages to you. And so let's go ahead and get started. Now, we have a person up here you can see pretty clearly. The head, here is the arm kind of reaching over into this rim area. Now we have the body. This is a leg, another arm right here. Over here we have another person who looks like they're wearing a robe or maybe some kind of dress. They have the head of a bird. So we're going to look at this as Thoth, right? Either Thoth or one of the priests of Thoth, maybe the Hierophant even, the chief priest or high priest. But Thoth energy and oh, I hear you. I have a fly in my office. I tried to get him out yesterday. It's been so cold here. I'm like, where did you come from? I haven't seen a fly in the house in at least, like, I don't know, 2 months or something. So this one really, it's so cold outside here. We just got done with it being like negative 30 degrees like last week, a week ago. So I don't know. But it is in here. Yesterday, my husband was making fun of me because I crumbled up a cracker and put it on a little saucer and put a little water on there and left it out for the fly in my office because I feel bad. I couldn't catch it. I couldn't get it to go out the window. And now it's stuck in here. So, I had to leave it some food. So we have these 2 people. It looks like a house. Okay, you can see the roof. Here is the chimney and the smoke. Over here, we have a star. We have what looks like a tree. Right here, even a little swing kind of hanging from it. And to me, I feel like there's a sense of being called out of your life. Right? What does that mean? I feel like it's like you're going along with just the normal, mundane things. Your projects, your work, your family, keeping the house together, bills, all the stuff that we do, all the stuff that we have to think about and we have to consider and, all of that. And then comes a day, right? Where we start to think, what does this all mean? Have I followed through on my goals? That's the star, right? And I think this really is the big thing here, put down roots. Have I built the life that I want? You know, the thing that I have been dreaming of, creating a family. It doesn't have to be biological family. It doesn't have to be, a nuclear family. Or is it atomic family? I always forget what it is. A nuclear family. It doesn't have to be anything that you've ever seen before, right? Our families are our own, and they can be chosen. They can be created. You know, they can be what we're born into, and we just stay because, you know, we have that loyalty, or maybe there is even a deep love and respect and connection with your actual biological family, you know, seems like a rarity these days. But whatever it is, whatever that looks like, I almost feel like how do I say this without being rude? I don't like saying things that are, I don't want to assume, but it's almost like you compromised a lot. Let me just say that. You chose in a direction that maybe isn't prioritizing yourself, right? And that makes sense. Sometimes, you know what? We end up having kids. We end up, needing to go and take care of our family. Maybe we got a job that we didn't think we were going to keep forever, but we have, and that's become your career, and it has influenced the way that you've planned out your life, you know, whatever it is. But I feel like this is a moment where you are really starting to like look around and think, how did I end up here? Because this isn't what I envisioned, and this is not really what I wanted for myself, okay? And I'm just going to say that straight up. And listen, you're not alone. We all have these moments. I have them constantly. Maybe not about, you know, my marriage or my daughter or the family I have worked diligently to keep together, right? Although, you know, sometimes I'm like, what the heck is going on here? What have I done? But no, we all have these moments. I look around sometimes and think, I am not living the way that I ever imagined for myself. I thought I would be some hermit living out in a shack in the woods, like writing, unhinged holy books, right? Out of like mud and stuff. That's where I saw myself. Still might, right? I still might end up there. But I do feel like for you, this is the reminder, right? This is that moment that like it stops you from that autopilot. You wake up for a second and you think, whoa, okay, now I got to figure out what am I going to do to more align with this dream I have of having the house or property, or, you know, at least somewhere where you feel like this is my neighborhood. This is where I want to stay. I'm going to, you know, rent a house here. I'm going to stay here forever, you know. I want my kids to go to school here. I want my grandkids to grow up in this town, you know, all that kind of thing. And honestly, you know, I see you as we have those, of course, I see you really turning back towards magic. Now, I know he's the god of a lot of things, including sciences and mathematics and, you know, so on and so forth, but also magic, okay? So I know, Taurus, that you are, you have an innate magical quality. I don't know what it is, if you are a manifester, maybe you are a seer, a healer, maybe all the things. Maybe you do a lot of different things. But I do feel like you have lived in such a way where you have turned away from your abilities for the most part. You do not always incorporate them in the life that you're living. In fact, I think that at times you have really tried to hide the fact that you know and see and feel things that most people don't. And where some of us go, oh, I'm very special, right? Others, yeah, not super stoked on letting the world know about your abilities. And that's understandable. You know, even for myself, when I started this channel, although I've always been involved in the occult and various, you know, systems and magic and so on. So a couple of communities. Shout out to synchromysticism. Shout out to the people that come on here and can deduce that I have had a lot of time within the chaos magic scene. I've had a few people on here be like, you're a KO, aren't you? Yes. But I understand not wanting to divulge these things to everybody. So when I started this channel, I was like, man, nobody's going to take me seriously in any part of my life. Well, you know what? I don't care anymore. First of all, that's the big thing. I don't care. I'm doing something I love and comes, you know, it doesn't come naturally to me necessarily, but it, to some degree, and I've had to develop it, right? But yeah, there's a, you know, for instance, I talk to other parents every day because my daughter's in school and involved in all these activities and stuff. And I almost never tell them what I do or what my husband does. Not because I'm like trying to be secretive, but people don't necessarily view you in the same light when you tell them, like, yeah, I mean, you know, I see things, I hear things, I feel things, I have dreams about things. I can see your grandmother standing over there watching over you, you know. You just, it's hard to feel like people will treat you the same way, right? And I get that. But I feel like first of all, you're a Taurus, so you're probably slightly eccentric anyways. No judgment on that. Eccentric is, you know, chef's kiss. Mwah. But every Taurus I've ever known, male, female, other, doesn't matter, always very smart, creative, eccentric. Okay? So even though it might feel like to you, people will be like, what the heck? You're into this stuff? I don't think it would be that big of a jump for them to think, okay, yeah, Sally from accounting is, you know, she does sympathetic magic or whatever, you know? Yeah, that makes sense. So I do see you headed back in that direction towards the magic, doing the magic, and I think living more openly about your experiences with the unknown, your abilities, and where you can put that into practice so that you can help people, you can help yourself, hopefully make some resources while doing it. Now, it looks like we have a cat, we have the magician, we have a cat, we have a person standing here with their arm raised. Look, and this one, their arm is raised too. Oops. Their arm is raised up over here. We also have, it looks like a bird. We have a person up here with their arm raised. They're holding the bird. Now, the bird is the messenger or the message or both, right? And what do we have over here? It looks like a buffalo. And this one reminds me very much of like a nun or maybe some devotee. And I'm sorry, I'm wiping my nose. I am sick, and you can probably hear my tissues. And this one says mom, M-O-M. So I wonder if your mother, or on your mother's side at least, if there really kind of was like a heavy involvement in religion. Maybe Abrahamic, maybe other, I'm not sure. But it feels very like traditional, strict, okay? And this maybe is where you have learned to suppress or at least kind of omit some of the stuff about yourself. Probably because, yeah, people around you just would not understand. But here's the deal, is that I feel like this is the line, that your family line, that has these abilities, okay? And I feel like that has probably created an environment for generations of having to hide this part of themselves. So it really is kind of this generational cycle of having to live pretty inauthentically, or at least being away from the core family to be yourself, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if you have some family members who like hightailed it as soon as they were old enough, right? And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they also had abilities, or they have abilities, okay? So some amount of estrangement within the family, but we also have these magicians, right? And I feel like it's almost like a sense of this intelligence that's very woven into your bloodline. Maybe part of it, this could be an ancestor, but in the magical realms, astral, interior, if you've built landscapes to do work within, these sub-realities, these are at least two beings that really watch over you. And I feel like they're sending you messages. They're showing you through patterns, synchronicities, repeating numbers, words, symbols, whatever it is, okay? Now the cat seems really important. This maybe is like a power animal for you. It could be like a familiar. It could be a totem. Maybe this is your spirit animal. But the cat is really important, and that is very tied to your spiritual realm, okay? Now, we also have the buffalo, which I love. The buffalo... it's actually a bison, the American bison, but we do call them buffaloes, which is not the right name for them. It is my totem, actually. The first totem I received as a child. My father had visions about our spirit animals. And now, before you think about saying anything, I am Native. I am indigenous. I'm actually Choctaw. Our family is Choctaw. So, I just always qualify myself in that way, because sometimes it's like, yeah, people don't really, well, they don't know me, so they don't know what my background is, but, there's a lot of talk about if we should be using words like spirit animals and things like that. But anyways, the bison. The bison is a beautiful, beautiful animal, and symbolically so interesting because it is an animal that is really large, right? And it is a pack animal. It is also an animal that is aware of its movements, really depleting its energy. So they are very intentional about how they move. If you could think about being that big of an animal and you're going up the side of hills and you're in valleys and looking for water and food, and you have all these other, members of your pack or tribe or whatever they're called, you have to look out for them as well. But they know. we get tired, right? We move too fast, we get tired. So everything has to be intentional. Now, the other part of this is the bison is pretty chill, right? It just kind of hangs out, it does its thing, it's eating, it's drinking, it's being with its family, and it will really get you if you get too close, right? They're going to stampede. They're going to, come up and stomp on you and all of that and chase you, chase you away. So I feel like this really, it speaks to your ability to be pretty calm, pretty cool until somebody pushes you too far. And I really feel like that's the reason this is kind of sticking out for you, okay? I feel like you are in a place where maybe you're not being super aggressive, like there's been some argument or anything like that. But I feel like you finally gotten to the point where it's like, I am not going to hide myself anymore. I am not going to worry about what so-and-so thinks. I'm going to be who I am and I'm going to speak my truth. And I feel like that's the big energy here, okay? Now, we also have, it looks like a very protective wall that you're building, okay? So I feel like there's almost a sense of like the Four of Discs energy as well. And I also feel like there is a need to really kind of fortify your physical space, right? And that doesn't mean like you need to put like security bars on your windows or whatever. But I do feel like creating an environment where you feel very comfortable. You go out in the world, you do your thing, you make your money and do your socializing and get all of your tasks done, and then you return back to your sanctuary. And that's the work here. It's all about making sure that you have that place. It doesn't have to be the whole home. It could be a corner in a room. Maybe you have a special desk or a special chair that you like to sit in. I know sometimes we have small living spaces. Sometimes we have roommates or the kids kind of take over the house or whatever. But just having a space that is for you, that you feel comfortable, really peeling away the layers, right? And doing that internal work, doing that magical work. That's really the emphasis. So I feel like I have to challenge you here. If you cannot think of a space in your home or even your car or wherever it is that you feel like, okay, this is where I can go and really just kind of do my thing, then I challenge you to clean up a space, organize it, decorate it if you want, do whatever you need to do, but make that your space, okay? That's the big challenge. All right, so we're gonna go over here, we're gonna do our lucky numbers, and we do 3 of them. We have number 45, number 45, number 3, 45, 3, and 25. All right, so now we're going to go ahead. We're going to go through our self-care affirmation cards. I'm going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. And it says, yes, there we go. The sacred temple. My body is a sacred temple. I care for my I care for my physical self with exercise, nourishing food, and deep rest. I treat my body like a treasured temple. Yes, I treat my body like a treasured temple. All right. Well, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, if you have any recommendations for TV shows that you really liked watching, send those over. Put them on the comments. I would love to hear what you've been watching, what you loved watching. I'm looking for something. I just finished The Sopranos for the first time, so now I'm looking for something else to watch. Yeah, so again, I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.